Well, hello everybody. The Jeff Cowan here, coming to you from thejeffcowan.com with my podcast, Write Service and Write Your Own Paycheck, how to make $100,000 a year writing service. If you're somebody out there watching this today and you are writing service and you are not making $100,000 and you don't have perfect survey scores and you do not have customer retention above 85%, then you keep listening to me because I am going to show you how to do that. If you're thinking about getting into this job, well, you picked a great career to get into, man, because this thing is hopping. It's only going to get better over the next few years. Now, the last 2 weeks we've talked about customer retention because it's extremely important to have customer retention. Without it, you'll go out of business, right? So the first week, 2 weeks ago, we talked about what creates customer retention. We talked about the 5 things there. Then we talked about what type of businesses have customer retention. And then we explained to you the reason they have customer retention is because they never stop selling who and what they are. Then I came back last week with part 2, and I showed you how to sell, how to sell who and what you are. What words to use, what word tracks to use. We got a big response from this, right? And so now this week we come back and finally with this third installment of this, we're going to show you how to use those words so that you, like Ruth Chris and Nordstrom's and Disney and Target and Walmart and all those places, you too can never stop. Will always know how to sell who and what you are. You'll never stop selling who and what you are. So let's jump into this because you'll remember last week I gave you word tracks to define what makes you the best. So for example, now for sake of time today, last week I gave you 2 versions. I gave you the if you're not working at a dealership version, and then I gave you the dealership version. Today, just to keep it short, we're going to do the dealership version. If you want to know what the independent version is or the chain store version is, just go back and listen to next week's, or better yet, call me and I'll give them to you. Because that's the kind of guy I am. As a matter of fact, if you call me, the first 3 people that call me this week, I will give you a free webinar for you and your service advisor staff. Free webinar. The first 3 people call, free webinar. I'll do it myself. I usually charge a whole bunch of money and get it. So these are cool. You know, we've done this the last few weeks, and I got to tell you, these things go like that. I mean, snap of a finger. So if you're interested in me doing a free webinar for you and your people, a sales meeting, you just give me a call, man, and I'll make it happen for you. I charge a lot of money for them, but I'm going to give them to you for free. Why? Because I like you. All right, so let's go back to these word tracks. So what's word tracks you to set the stage? All right, so here we go. Mr. Customer, I want to let you know that I'm glad that you came in today, and I'm glad that I get to work with you, and this being your first time in, let me explain to you a little bit about who we are and what we do. First and foremost, here's what I want you to know. I want you to know that I'm a factory-trained service advisor. I've been trained by the factory to work specifically with vehicles just like yours. You know, I'll work with more vehicles just like yours today than our competition will in the next 30 days combined. I've been trained to know what to look for, what to look at, and what questions to ask. Now, this in turn allows me to make sure that when your vehicle enters our state-of-the-art shop, it will get to the right factory-trained technician, which will ensure that your vehicle will be worked on in the most efficient and economical way possible, saving you both time and money. That way, when we deliver your vehicle back to you, you can rest assured that it will be safe, reliable, and economically sound. And by the way, Mr. Customer, all of our technicians are factory-trained technicians, and what this means is they've been trained and continue to be trained by the manufacturer that originally built your vehicle. They're constantly updated and trained on what to look at, what to look for, and how to execute a repair in the quickest, most economical way possible, saving you both time and money. They will work on more vehicles like yours today that drive on the same roads in the same conditions that you do than our competition will in the next 30 days combined. They're literally experts and the best at what they do. And Mr. Customer, while they're doing it, every part that we use is factory designed and engineered. They were built by the same people who built your vehicle, which ensures that every part is a perfect fit. What we use only factory design and engineered parts because we know how they will perform and because they come with a full warranty from the manufacturer. In short, we only use the best because we feel both you and your vehicle deserve the best. Now, like I said last week, if you're an independent or you're a chain store, you just would change that. For example, instead of being factory trained, you might use the term factory trained technician, you'd use ASC certified technician. If you're a chain store, for example, like your Firestone, you might say a Firestone expertly trained technician. And if you're both, say both. If you're an independent, whatever your certifications are, when you build your parts, when you have your parts, if you're an independent or a chain store, just talk about who builds your parts and why you feel they're the best for the customer to use. That's all you're doing here. And again, like I said, if you want to get those word tracks in those forms, I'll give them to you. But for the sake of the time today, I'm not going to read through them again. So now we tell the customer that one time, like I established last week. When you went into Starbucks and you learned that there was a barista, not just somebody pouring your coffee, but a barista, they told you what a barista was, They only had to tell you once. Now every time they mention the term, you know what it is. Same thing, I think we use the example with Apple. You went in the first time to an Apple store and they informed you they didn't have a customer service center. What they had was a Genius Bar, and once they explained to you what the Genius Bar was, they never had to tell you again. They just used the term Genius Bar and you know what it is. It means great quality, it means great value. So now we've given them those word tracks, okay? Now they know what they are. All we have to do is continue to use those words when we're with the customer, and they will always revert back to knowing what they mean. They mean quality, they mean the best, they mean that you're the absolute best solution, best value, everything, okay? So how are we going to do that? Well, I'll share that with you in a minute, but before I do, I got to tell you about my sponsor, Lightspeed VT. Lightspeed VT is located in the great state of Nevada and the great city of Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, if you've never been to Las Vegas, you got to go. It's a great place. But that's a story for another day. What Lightspeed does is they have a training platform, business owners and managers, that they can create for you. Now, it will look like almost like a web page type of thing, and that's a poor description because it's much, much more technologically advanced. But these guys are the best in the business. They'll put your logos all over it so it looks like you developed it. It was done just for you. And then what you do is you take your training that you've recorded and you put it on there, and they will show you how to get it uploaded on there. They'll show you how to divide it up and then put testing with it. So now when your people come in, instead of watching the videos and you don't know if they got it or not, now they'll watch it, they'll test it, and you'll know whether they understand it or not. It's a great coaching tool. I mean, it really, really is. And they'll show you how to use it not only on a computer, but any computer, any phone, anything that can connect to the internet, you can use that on. Now, even whether you have your own trainer or not, they can also help you with industry experts. For example, in the auto industry, my stuff's on there. If you want to go outside your industry, then they've got people like Zig Ziglar, Tom Hopkins, John Maxwell. They've got Tony Robbins. They've got Dave Anderson, Grant Cardone, and I'm trying to think of other people, but my memory is failing me right now. But they've got everybody on there, so you need to give them a call. They're great sponsors, great people. I use them and I love them. Best customer service ever. 702-369-4260. Tell them Jeff Cowan told you to call, because if you tell them that, they're going to do something special. And you know what special means? It means discount. That's what it means. So back to customer retention. So how do we use this in everyday conversations? Well, when it comes to those terms, factory-trained technician, factory-trained service advisor, factory design and engineered parts, expertly trained technician, expertly trained service advisor, the absolute best parts, ASC certified, whatever it is, okay, I'm going to look for ways to use that all throughout the day. I'm going to say some combination of those words to every customer at least 30 times per customer per day, no matter how long I do business with them. So always, every time they come in, at least 30 times you're going to hear those phrases. Give you an idea what I'm talking about? Let's use the afternoon phone call. Here's an example of what I would say. Hey, Mr. Customer, this is Jeff, your factory-trained service advisor. You'll remember me. I was the one that helped you get your vehicle checked in this morning. Well, I'm calling because I've got great news. Now, time out. Why is it great news? Now, I stop here because we're going to talk about one of my pet peeves. Okay, why is it great news? I'm going to make you think about that. Why is it great news? Because I solved their problem. That's why it's great news. They brought me a problem this morning. They told me what they needed. I got it into our state-of-the-art facility. Our factory-trained technician, our expertly trained technician diagnosed it, and we solved the problem. We got the solution. That's why it's great news. Why do I make a big deal out of this? Because for my liking, too many times service advisors all across this great nation, by the thousands every day, get on the telephone and say this crap. Mr. Customer, I hope you're sitting down, because I've got some bad news. Oh, really? Tell me more. I can't wait. There's nothing exciting about that. You got to tell them it's great news. Why? Because it's great news. They brought you a problem and you solved it. So back to this. All right, Mr. Customer, this is Jeff, your factory-trained service advisor. You remember me being the guy that helped you out this morning getting your vehicle checked in? Well, I'm calling because I've got some great news for you. I just got through talking to your factory-trained technician, and your factory-trained technician told me he's discovered what's causing that primary concern. Your factory-trained technician told me that when he looked at this, that he discovered this. The factory-trained technician says when that happens, it's only a matter of time before this, and this happens. So what the factory-trained technician is recommending we do is this, and the factory-trained technician is recommending we do this and this as well. Now, the benefits to us doing this now today is that once the factory trained technician does it, you'll get this, this, and this. Your factory trained technician wanted me to make sure that you understand that when he's doing the repairs today, he will be using only factory designed and engineered parts. He chooses to use those because we know who built them. They were built by the same people who built your vehicle in the first place. They're a perfect fit. They come with a warranty, and he chooses to use those because he feels both you and your vehicle deserve the best. The factory trained technician said if you wanted to move forward on this, it would only be $700 and he could get it done by 6 o'clock tonight. So, should I tell your factory trained technician you said go ahead? Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, just like they do in the workshops I do every time, you're going to say it that many times? Yes, I'm going to say it that many times. I was actually looking for more places to put it in. Why? Because I'm proud of what I do. I want the world to know that I am the absolute best they're ever going to see when it comes to working with a service advisor. I've been expertly trained to work on vehicles just like theirs that drive on the same roads, the same conditions that they do. I want them to know that the people doing the work, my expertly trained, my ASC certified technicians are the absolute best on the planet. And not with just their make and model, but any make and model. They see more variety than anybody else, giving them an edge in the marketplace. They're literally the best expert trained technicians available anywhere. And I want them to know the parts we have are the absolute best parts, why we've chosen those parts, and why those parts are best for them in their car. I want to brag about the place I work in. I want to brag about the business. I want to brag about my coworkers. I want the world simply to know that they are dealing with the best. And here's why you got to do this. I don't know about you, but there was a time when my mom would follow me around and tell everybody about how great I was. Well, you know what? She retired about 20 years ago. Now she no longer does it. So if my mom's not going to tell everybody I'm great, then somebody has to. It might as well be me. I mean, businesses do this all the time. At my ProTalk business, where we train service advisors by the thousands every year. You call us. We're not going to get it on the phone and say, hey, glad you called us here at ProTalk because we train service advisors, and we're about the third best, which is great because last year we were only fifth. They're going to get on the phone and tell you we're the absolute best. You want to know why? Because we are. If we don't tell you, nobody else is going to. So you have to tell people, all right? So if you want to get customer retention, you have to understand the biggest reason people leave, right from the customer's mouth. We established this in the first one. The biggest reason people leave is because they never really realize they're working with the best, because most service advisors and most service centers never tell their customers they're the best. So you have to, and I've shown you how to do that. As a matter of fact, I can even show you more how to do it. You know, you want to go to our website, thejeffcowan.com. We've got DVDs, we've got online training. I've even got, it's the best in the business, I've got in-store training, and I've got workshops. I can do private workshops. You can come to one of my workshops we just announced. We're going to be in Chicago, we're going to be in Houston, we're going to be in Washington, D.C. You got to get yourself signed up. If you're a business, call. We've got something we'll do for you. If you're a student, we have student pricing. Money will not keep a student. If you're going to write a personal check, or you're going to use your personal credit card, money will not keep us apart. I'll get you in one of these workshops or get you any of these training materials. And guess what? Through the holiday season, December only, you can not only get this book, Right Service or Write Your Own Paycheck, you can get the video program plus these other 3 books along with it. We're going to bundle it together and give you something special, okay? If you go to the jeffcowan.com thing. But going back to the topic of the day in the last few weeks, it's customer retention. Customer retention is important. And it's one that there's a big battle going on for right now. Everybody's fighting for the same customer. There's over 110,000 places in the United States of America alone that somebody can take their vehicle and get maintenance work done on it or get it repaired. And the only thing that's going to keep people coming back to your business is you. You have to be a professional. You have to be skilled. You have to train yourself. You have to be the best greeter. You have to be the best at approaching greeting. You have to be the best at walking around the car and making presentations. You have to be the best at explaining the benefits, explaining the quality, explaining everything, and you have to be the best at selling who and what you are non-stop from the second they open up the door to the time they close it, over and over and over, some combination of these words 30 times with every customer every day, no matter how long you're doing business with them. You gotta constantly sell who and what you are, who and what you are. Nordstrom's, right? Nordstrom's, Walmart, Target. Never stop selling who and what they are. Ruth Chris, never stop selling who and what they are. Nike, never stop selling who and what they are. The Dallas Cowboys, for crying out loud, never stop selling who and what they are. You you never stop selling who and what you are, your customers will flock to you, and you will get on the path to making $100,000 a year and having perfect survey scores and customer retention above 85%. My name is Jeff Cowan, coming to you from the Jeff Cowan. I got a picture of my grandson right there, best looking grandson. You know, we had a great week last week. We're having another great week this week, man. That little guy, he is just a blast. Now, you may think that you've got the best grandson. You don't. He's right there. He's mine. Between now and next week, make it a great one. Have a good one. Thanks.